everyone, Dev Gibby here, one of the developers on Project ZSGO. Today we wanted to bring you an informational video on the latest upcoming update that we've got, version 0.4.7 for the game, and give you guys an inside scoop. I'm joined with Dev Ear.
Hello everyone.
We wanted to give a sneak peek of what's to come and everything that's going on behind the scenes. We've had a couple survivors and players in our Discord server who have reached out and communicated that they wanted some more information on what's going on in the development world. So we hope to cover some of that. Wanted to reiterate, we're just a small indie team. There's 4 of us, and there's a lot of other outside factors that are not going to be covered in this short informational video that are outside of development. But just know that there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. We're also very active in our Discord server, and we'd love for you to join if you'd like. Big shout out to everyone who's supported us on our journey, and we hope you enjoy the video.
Yeah, so to get right into it, I'm just going to touch up on the previous update, which was mainly focused on building and base security. We had a lot of people report that the ownership box was just too small, and that if you just bust down one wall and there's an ownership box there that isn't your main one, the enemy could just take ownership of that and then bust down every wall all the way to your core. Now we've doubled the size of the ownership box, maybe even a little more than doubled. It's like 8 or 9 foundations or something like that, so much more space there to work with. We have a new item called a Tether, which pretty much allows you, it acts as an ownership box, but you can't claim ownership on it. You could just extend your ownership. So if an enemy were to break down a wall and there's a tether there, they don't get ownership over that tether now. They still have to go all the way to your core to finally get ownership. It's pretty easy to destroy. It's only like 100 health. You can hit it with an axe a few times. But the main point is that they can't take ownership of that and just take over your whole base. There was also issues where people didn't know how far their ownership extended. So we made it so that the build part now is blue if you're holding it within an owned territory, and then it's green as soon as you exit your own territory. So now it should be very easy to understand what's yours, what's not yours, and it's even bigger now, so it's great. One more thing though on the build parts, we've also made a little adjustment with the foundation. So the grid snapping, there's now a snapping point, one above and one below, so you no longer have to place foundations side by side at the same exact height. You could increase the height a little bit or decrease the height a little bit, so you could have much more base designs with that and build up like hills and whatnot. And you could actually build up hills a lot easier now, because before there was like a limit on the angle that you were allowed to build on. There still is, but we made it a lot more lenient, which allows you to build in a lot more places and not have to have a super flat area to build on. You could have some hills in there.
We've really just kind of scratched the surface and would really like to continue to add more items to our build part list. And quite frankly, we're due for a massive build part update in the near future here. As part of this ongoing effort, we've got some exciting stuff we wanted to tease surrounding these new exterior wooden walls that we have. And these are going to be very crucial in the longer term updates that we have coming out. So these will now protect kind of your outer base wall, if you would, and there's a gate that you can create a foundation, then protect it with these exterior wood walls, and eventually store vehicles. You know, you can have a furnace out there, your campfire, and other cool items in the future. We've also got the anti-rad shower working in this next update, which previously was not placeable. You can craft one in the chem lab and put it inside your base.
Yeah, and just to touch on the radiation while we're on that subject, there was a bug where your character would just fall over dead out of nowhere. Initially, it was out of nowhere. We've been looking into it for like a month now. And thank you to the kettle, we finally got some good data from him where he was explaining certain foods he ate, and it didn't really have to do necessarily with the type of food you ate. There was just a flaw in how the radiation worked, which should be fixed now. And on top of that, we have this new system where if your rad bar fills up, you no longer just fall over dead. Instead, your health will start ticking slowly. So yeah, bit of a rework there to the radiation.
The weapon durability was another big one that was causing a lot of headaches for players. We have weapon and melee repair kits. However, those were a little bit broken or not working all the time, and beforehand your item would just disappear. Now it's going to turn red. You'll also get some noise feedback, and it'll notify you that it needs to be repaired and that it's broken before you can use it again. With that, we've added a repair bench, which is craftable in the crafting bench. You can craft one of those up, and you'll now be able to throw your broken items into that repair bench, and you'll be able to fix them up. And depending on the weapon, the melee or the weapon will require specific items. With that, we added a ripping and break mechanic to all equipment and clothing items in the game. So you can now break down or rip up your shirts, your backpacks, your armor, and you'll be able to get some of these new materials.
Yeah, so these new materials are kind of base materials. What I mean by base materials, like stone, iron, or wood. Like, it's really foundational and will be built upon a lot. So they're pretty important, two new materials, but it is tough and plasty. And tough is pretty much like a hard armor type of material, and plasty is plastic. So if you break down items, you could get some tough and some plastic, and you'll see the use cases of those once you get in there.
Optimization is another massive piece of this next update. We've heard a lot of feedback and reviews revolving around optimization. This is something that has been a top priority of ours from the very beginning. Coming into early access, we knew it wasn't in its best state or shape, and we really wanted to hone in on this next update, and we'll continue to hone in on improving it. So you'll notice some massive culling updates in our next release. You'll notice that there's different parts of the map that'll render at different times. It's not quite in its final state and still needs some tweaking, but ultimately you should notice a good frame increase. And with that, we've also implemented some fog, which kind of goes along with that culling distance, and it ultimately gives that atmospheric apocalyptic vibe that I really think we were missing, and really just ties everything together. Going back to the scavs and the animals, we're adding in a sniper scav plus a ground soldier. And then for the animals, we've got deer, wolves, and a really strong bear, which has 2,000 health, which is about 20 times the health of a zombie.
Yeah, and on top of the new AI, there's actually a whole new foundational system that controls how these AI spawn. So they're actually not on the same system as zombies, but we are planning to migrate the zombies over to this new system, and even the loot points. But here's Jest a bit explaining more in detail what's going on and how these optimizations are happening and why this system is better.
So it's all about aggregating into smaller segments of data versus having one large list of data. So imagine we have 1,000 spawn points on the map, and we want to do some stuff with those spawn points. One way to do that would be to keep a list of all 1,000 spawn points and iterate through them one by one by one, over and over and over.
Gotcha. So it's just a file
and that's not
system,
very performant, nor is it very fast. So instead of iterating over all 1,000 spawn points, imagine we make 4 folders.
Yeah, it's like a filing cabinet.
Right, exactly.
That's essentially all that we have put together for this short video today, and we just wanted to say again, thank you for all the support. And if any of you have any questions, if you guys want to see more content like this, it does take, time to put these videos together. And like I said, there's a lot of other factors going on behind the scenes in the studio, and we're working hard every day on the game and answering any questions that you might have on Discord or Steam discussions. So continue to reach out and provide that feedback. It really does help. And yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.